Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Captain Shack here, and welcome to Space Engineer. So this is a video that I've been wanting to do. I'm actually live streaming this as I do it, because a lot of the live stream guys over on the Hitbox channel have been like, Shack, what mods do you use? Ballad specifically was asking me, what mods do you use? Because people are trying to build ships. I'm getting a lot of submissions to the Star Wars building contest, or build off really. It's not really a contest because there's no winners, just people, the best ones are going to get spotlighted on the channel and probably used in different types of videos. But anyways, what mods do I use to make these? Now I recently made, and you'll see it on the screen, I'll edit it in here, the Z95 Headhunter, and it came out really well, and people were like, damn, Shaq, my stuff doesn't look like that. Well, but pretty much because you're not using the same mods I'm using. Now there is a set of mods. I'm trying to keep this list fairly low, but this video may go on for a while because I love talking about mods. But this is going to be a list of the mods that I absolutely use in every one of my builds now. And if you guys have mods that you use that I didn't mention here that are like every time must have in your game world, let me know, because the one thing about this build off that has been really cool is that I'm learning about a lot of new mods, a ton of new mods actually. All right, let's get started. So we're just gonna go through my mod list. Now I cleaned this up a little bit yesterday. I am reserving this for only mods that work in DirectX 11. That means they've been updated, they're continuing to be updated by the mod author. So that means right now, Dark Mechanicus' Orbital Cockpit, as an example. If you're making a TIE fighter, it's fantastic, but has not been updated for DirectX 11 and currently has a texture problem. You can't color it anymore. It's stuck on this kind of gray color. But it is one of the coolest mods. If you're going to make a TIE fighter, even though you can't color it and the texture isn't there, it's awesome. So I highly recommend that if you're making Imperial builds, because we haven't gotten a lot of Imperial builds yet from the community. So keep an eye on this one, guys. But he's supposed to be updating it soon, I think. One that I always go with, Armored Thrusters. Armored Thrusters is one of the most subscribed mods in Space Engineers. It's one of the first ones by, well, Darth Biomech. I believe Biomech did the fighter cockpit that the devs actually added into the game. Don't hate me if I'm wrong on that one, but I think he did. Hell, we can even look at his list real quick. But Armored Thrusters, oh boy, he's got a lot of stuff out now. Let's rip through this. It's got a TARDIS. Oh, oh, so good. All right, so I could rant about this all the time, but let's get back to Armored Thruster. Armored Thruster is a very simple mod. I don't know if these have been updated with the most recent balance patch, but I'm sure they're still useful. They look great. They're basically just thrusters that have armor plating attached to them. They got a little bit more health than the average thruster, and it kind of gives you a little bit more smoother lines, especially when you're building something that's boxy. So I like to throw those on there. Armored Thrusters. Okay, nothing new here. If you're making huge ships, I'm not going to put this on here, but Titan Engine is fantastic. It is a gigantic engine. I don't know if this one's also been balanced and updated, but let's get into the ones that I always use. Running through these, Signs. Signs is a mod that if you're like me and when you build larger ships and you're easily lost, well, these are little tiny signs that will direct you. I don't know if he's up. I haven't used this in a while because I haven't built any large. DirectX 11 update, also now available for small ships. Okay, basically they're just little signs that'll point you to reactor rooms and where the bridge is and the medical bay, and there's the barracks, all kinds of fun stuff. There's a couple versions of this mod, but this is the one that I use to keep it simple. So that's one that I'd recommend, but I'm not going to put it on my must-have list. I will put small button panels for ships on. This is the 4-button panel, just like that. There you go. Works perfectly here. I believe it's been updated for DirectX 11. Updated, yep, made available for large ships. So we'll throw that one on there. I love the 4-button panel. Instead of having that gigantic, what do you call that thing? Like, I don't know, command console where it has just 4 buttons. It's a nice little panel, and you can use it for like elevators and stuff. It's really good. Glint Die Skybox. I will throw that on. It is one of my absolute favorite skyboxes. Nice green. Came out of EVE Online. I was a Glint Die player, so yeah, of course I like that one. Let's see, jumping through here, the letters mod has so many uses. So many uses. You could pretty much write anything with these 3-dimensional letters. Another one of Darth Biomech's. I also use them to designate hangar bays, so like hangar 1 through 5, and I'll put the big 1 or the 5 on there all the way through it. Something I'm working on is a Rebel base, and I've been using those. So letters mod is a must-have. One that I'm keeping an eye on is simple concrete blocks. Not one that I'm going to put on this list because it doesn't have DirectX 11 support. Also, the textures are too big, but it's a really cool concept. Concrete blocks, it uses all that ground up rock that you've got, all that gravel that everybody has. and you don't use it for anything but making reactors. And honestly, you don't really use it. You just get tons of it and ends up becoming garbage. But right now, he doesn't have a DirectX 11 patch. What it does is it makes these big concrete blocks that are resistant to thruster damage, meaning they're great for landing bays. Fantastic for landing bays. So gonna keep an eye on that one, not going on the main list. The next one, passenger seats. There's already a passenger seat in the game. This doesn't add a new seat. Well, it kind of does. What it does is it makes it so you can put them in a smaller radius. You can stack them in together. Great for troop transports, because in the normal game, on the right-hand side, you see what you get in the normal game. Big spaces. On the left, you get how this mod works. It's great for if you're gonna do like a cargo ship or maybe a transport ship for just people and personnel. Well, there you go. Or maybe you want to make a much more cozy cockpit with your friends. Well, there you go. That's a good one. Something I think they should do in the actual game. Of course, Stargate Teleporting. This is the one that you guys see in the RP series all the time. This actually works too. You can run through these. I did a spotlight on this with Alterran a long time ago. You can build multiple Stargates. You dial in their address, basically by renaming it, and then you hit the button on the DHD. It opens up and you just jump through. It also adds, I want to say, Stargate ships, which for me is a little irritating. You'll get like Gould transports that'll fly through and whatnot, but definitely a neat mod, and they're constantly updating it and adding more to it. Alright, what else do we have here? We've got, let's get into the really big, the really good ones. Are this the interiors that I'm thinking of? I think this is the S interiors. Oh, these are the decorative ones. Nah, that's not the one I'm talking about. There's a lot of cool decorative mods, but I'm not going to get into those, and most of them aren't updated for DirectX. Small landing gear is a good one. It makes this really cool foot, and it's shorter. It's smaller. I'll pop that one open. Also updated in DirectX 11, and it just looks cool. Like, I mean, I like the piston built into it. It looks neat. And it's not an actual piston, so it won't break your server. All right, going into must-haves though. So blast door sections is a must-have mod for anybody looking to do detail work on a ship or a station or anything in Space Engineers. Basically, it gives you, these are very blurry images. Let's see if I can find one that's not. Normally they load up after a little while. Let's see if I can open it. There we go. It gives you new blast door sections that are curved. It gives you ramps that won't collide with things around them. It'll let you build things that you won't hit stuff. So if you're using pistons, you'll be able to make those like ramps that come down out of the floor like a aircraft carrier, elevator for aircraft. It just opens up a whole new world. It also makes, I'm sure everybody just had that Disney song pop into their head, a whole new world. It also gives you just a new texture to build stuff with. The Z95, if you look at the back end of it, you notice the blocks look a little different. Those are blast sections. This also works in survival, by the way. It is balanced for survival. So this must have blast door sections. Gotta have it. Sage decorative mods. If you don't know, Sage runs a YouTube channel all about Space Engineers and a few other games with Aaron over on Last Stand Gamers, and he has made some of his own mods way early on, and they are functional. They do work. They are just really well refined for Space Engineers. This is one of his Cryo Pods. I will be using all of the Sage mods. I absolutely love them. So Sage PodGo. Industrial mod from Sage, probably the most used thruster in the game right now. Small and large, looks fantastic. You guys have probably seen this on a billion builds. If you're familiar with Space Engineers, you will definitely know of this thruster. Another Sage mod, like I said, all Sage mods go with it. There's civilian bed, another access door. Probably the most useful thing he's ever made other than the industrial thruster is the access door. Let's just open this thing up here. So the access door. The access door, it just opens up, just like you see. This is actually two different doors. I used to think that when I first saw this, it opens up like you see in the image. But what it does is, it's a single block door that looks like a Jeffries tube from Star Trek. And you have to go head first into it because it's kind of tight fit, but it's really cool for those little maintenance corridors. All right, so that one's definitely going on there. If you're going to build a larger ship, that's needed. If you're only working on fighters, don't worry about the access door for Sage. All right, so going on for must-have mods, there's a Cryo Pods. If you don't like Sage's Cryo Pods, there's a DirectX 11 Cryo Pod. I think this is by Darth again, Biomech. You'll notice these were in the first episode of the Space Engineers RP series. And they're good. Like, they look really good. I like Sage's, but I think these look a little bit better. They function the same way. It's all just personal preference, though. So those aren't going to go on my must-have. Let's see. Going through. So now we're getting into the CSD weapons. CSD is a set of weapons that are pretty cool. Like the Scatter Cannon by Ninja Pirate is one of the more unique turrets in the game and weapon systems. They're supposed to be close range, like he says, close range rapid fire support. They've got a huge spread, but they fire really fast. And they make for some of the more epic dogfights. You don't have to be so damn accurate with these things to hit something. So the weapons that I like out of his pack for must-haves, the Scatter Cannon, and I like the Bomb Launcher. Those are the two that I use. The Bomb Launcher, if you saw my Y-Wing build, this is the Wake Bomb Launcher. You can see it there. The idea is fly toward a target, having this thing pointing backwards on your ship. You approach it, going at least 25 meters a second or faster, launch your bomb, and the bomb will take that momentum with it and hit the target after you've passed by. It is a very large explosion radius and will do a ton of damage. Oh, he even has a drawing on how it works. There you go. Very cool. I like that he did the drawing for it. Let's continue on. Simple Work Desk by Sage. Like I said, all Sage mods are going in this when it comes to the decorative one. So we got Industrial Thrusters, Blast Doors, and Simple Work Desks so far. Let's continue on. The airlock pressure sound that you guys hear in the RP series when we're in the base, that's actually a mod I have. I'm not going to throw that on here, though. Not a must-have. Another must-have. The Hoverbike mod, DirectX 9, DirectX 11 support. This one, I love it. It builds these super small pieces that you can build these tiny little hover bikes with. Now, I don't actually build the hover bikes. What I use them for is for pieces on fighters. Right? So you have this tiny little button that I used on the Y-Wing because it fits so well and it doesn't obscure anything. You've got tiny little thruster packs. They're not super strong, but you can just find all kinds of cool things to do with these. There's even little landing gears, all kinds of cool bits. So I recommend this one just to give yourself some more functionality with your builds. All right, continuing on, the solar panels mod is one that I absolutely love, especially in survival maps. This gives us, instead of having that one giant panel, you just get a lot of variety. Also has been upgraded to DirectX 11, I'm pretty sure, yeah. Yeah, DirectX 11, he has it in the name. So solar panels, pretty cool one. If you're playing survival, you know, or you have a build in mind that's going to use solar panels, not going to put it on there for this. Let's get into the good stuff. Now, a lot of people love the Armored Panels mod by Uncle, but there's a problem with this. It's not DirectX 11 support, and I don't believe he's going to update it. Now, that's not a terrible thing because somebody, and we'll just scroll down to the bottom because I know I already have it down here. Instead of using the Uncle ramps and the Uncle blast door blocks and all that, you can grab... Where is it? Where is it? I have it on here. Oh boy, there's so much crap on here. Let's go by blocks. Let's go by... Here we go. Instead of using the Uncle stuff, so armored panels and armored plates, you can grab, and armored ramps, that's the one, armored ramps, you can grab the reworked armored ramps, reworked armored panels. I highly recommend these. This is probably the 2 or 3 most important mods that I'm going to put on this list. Look up the reworked armored ramps. They'll be part of this collection. If you're just looking for this, though, that's what it's called. Basically, it's new shapes to build out of, and this is how I make all the detailed ships. This is how everybody does it. Most people use the uncled ones, though. Upgrade to these. Must have. Reworked armored ramps. So we're actually going to go under his list and see what he's got, because he's actually got a couple mods we're going to use. The reworked armored ramps, the reworked armored panels, same deal, except for these are panels like flat panels. They don't give you a lot of protection, but they will allow you to cover up some of your more, you know, the bits that you don't want taken a stray round, but have to be covered up, but you can't fit a full armored block on. These are fantastic for that. Also, the reason you want to use these over Uncles, like I said, DirectX 11 support, and the guy is still updating them, so we're going to throw those on there. Super important mods. All right. Then they're kind of replacing all the Uncle builds, basically. Let's go get rid of this, and let's continue through our list of mods. I'm going to put the solar panels on there just because they really are so useful. Now, there is a mod called Tracers if you're wondering how I get my Gatling cannons and stuff in these videos that I do to change colors, so I'm shooting green for like the Empire or for red for the Republic or for the Rebellion, it's the Tracer Multicolored mod. The issue with this mod though is that it replaces, it adds new ammo types to change the color of the weapons. But if you're using modded weapons, it won't work. So that's an issue. That's how you change them though. If you want to make your Gatling cannon shoot red, get the Tracer mod. Moving on, okay, let's get into the really, really important ones. The next one I'm going to say is super important is the small ship mod. Where is it? Let's get cap locks off. Small ship mega mod pack. This one allows you to build all the large stuff onto small ships. That means windows. You don't normally have windows. That's how you see all these builds where people have built custom cockpits. Windows, you can put down med bays, you can put down refineries, the larger conveyors, and you can build them into small ship blocks, meaning you can do some really cool custom builds. This is how people do the large ships, the small ships gone large, like the kind of cruisery Millennium Falcon-esque size ships, Serenity-like ships, and have all that functionality. Well, this is probably the most important mod in that lineup. So small ships make a mod pack, absolutely needed. Also lets you get the jump drives. Issue right now, I can't get the jump drives to work off of this. I don't know why, but for me they haven't worked. I've had to use the small ship jump drive mod as well. So I'm going to put both of those on here, though the small ship jump drive may not be needed anymore once the mega mod pack gets updated. And he's constantly adding new stuff to the small ship mega mod pack. It's very well supported by its developer. Continuing on. Let's see. So many mods. DK thrusters. DX11. This is what I used for the Z95. I love these. I think they look great. They are these custom, very simple thrusters. Little thruster pack. They work on small and large ships. I mean, there's nothing really super fancy about them, and the developer just commented not too long ago. So I guess he's gonna do the update to keep them in balance with the game. Yep, that one's gonna go on. I love that thruster. Absolutely fantastic. Blast door blocks. Oh, did I already get that one? I think I did. Yeah, we already did blast door blocks. Cool. Making sure. So the next one that I really dig, let's talk about this one real quick. So in the Z95, I had an X-Wing's KX9 laser cannons. We'll open it up. It even shows Perfect's X-Wing build that's going on in the background there. Kind of a cool looking X-Wing. These look great. They are the weapons from Star Wars. Problem, right now they have a bug. The texture on them is broken in DirectX 9 and 11. So until that gets updated, I do recommend you use it because it's the best thing you're going to get that looks like a Star Wars weapon that you're not going to have to custom build. It is the right size if you're looking to make Rebel weapon, the weapons off an X-Wing or a Z95 or whatever. This is the best you're probably going to get out of it, and I'm sure he's going to update it shortly. Let's see if anybody else has mentioned anything on that texture problem. You plan on adding a DirectX 11 texture version? I believe it has one. And some people are saying it works, and some people are saying it doesn't. Maybe mine's just bug. Like, I'm going to unsubscribe and resubscribe to it. Maybe that'll fix something. But, all right. So that one, let's throw that one on there. People will be interested in it. Conveyor hinges. I know there's a lot of people probably already commented in the video at this point saying, Shaq, you must have conveyor hinges. Oh, I know. I love conveyor hinges. I think this should be in the base game. It is exactly what you see. It is a conveyor on a hinge. Instead of having a rotor and a piston and really working out some wonky stuff, you got a conveyor hinge. Makes it way simple. And you can build it on small and large ships. It does everything a conveyor can do. You can hook on armor plates to this to get things to turn on that one axis, which is really nice. And it'll open up what you can build. In one of his examples, he's got like a crazy looking arm thing going on here. So that's a little nuts, but very cool. All right, so moving on, we got the MagLock surface docking clamps. Now I want to recommend these, I really do. Because they fix one of the biggest bugs in Space Engineers for a lot of people playing multiplayer, and that is landing gears exploding. But the problem is they're not DirectX 11, so when you put these on your ship, they will explode. Or they won't explode, they'll be black. They won't have a texture. I just need the textures redone. He's doing the textures now. The guy's trying to update them, it looks like. But, yeah, keep in mind, they're really small, too, so you could kind of like hide them in your ship, and it wouldn't make a difference. But what it does is there's no physical thing touching your ship and the platform where you're going to land. So it's this big magnetic surface. So when the server's like, oh shit, where is the landing gear versus where is the thing it's attached to? And that's normally when it decides it's going to explode in multiplayer. This shows a gap there, so there's no explosion. It's pretty nice. Also, if you're building something like an A-wing and you don't have space for a landing gear, it doesn't look right, you can replace them with these. So, will I put this on the must-have list? Probably. Yeah, I'll put it on there just because of the thing it does. Newcomer to the modding scene, at least this particular mod, and I believe in Furries, in Furies. I like this one. You guys, your mileage may vary. It's cargo mod. I love cargo containers that make things look like I've got a cargo ship and I have lots of options. And basically, this is just a lot of different versions of a cargo container. Anything from little barrels that have connector points to gigantic. This thing is huge. You don't realize how big this is until you place it. These are also colorable. The texture is a little meh, but if you're looking for a cargo ship mod, you want to kind of spice it up, there you go. And we're moving on. I'm not going to put this on the must-have. It's more of just one of those things I like. What was the ventilator? I don't remember. Was this DirectX 11? No, this isn't updated for DirectX 11, I don't believe. Basically, this is actually considered a drill bit, but it gives you a fan that spins. You put a light behind it, it gives a really cool effect inside buildings and stuff when you make it. Not what I'm gonna be putting in the must-have though. The large drill bit, you probably saw this over on Sage's channel. No, this is a different drill bit. Just a cool looking drill bit. Mix it up. I'm not gonna put the Star Wars collab mod on there just because I don't think it's updated to DirectX 11. I'm pretty sure neither one of them are. What is this? Blast doors. Is this the blast doors I think it is? This is the large blast door. Basically, you're building a large ship or hangars. The only time you want to use this, it is colorable. It is a really nice looking detailed blast door. I'm using it for my rebel base right now that I'm working on. Whoops. So, not going to put it on must-have, just a cool one. All you got to do is look up blast door and you'll find it. Must-have for space station construction is S interior walls. Absolutely love this mod because not only are these walls, but the walls have a ton of different functionality to them. Like they are conveyors on some of them. Some of them have recharge points for med station built in. Some of them are lights. Some of them are I don't know, cargo axis, computer terminals. Let's go through. There's gates now, and he's been updating this like crazy. So you can see how the conveyor works. And there are conveyor ports on the sides. Let's run through a little bit more. The different types of walls. There's button panel walls. There are ventilation decks and ducts that you can use. He's even added ladders on there that they don't actually work. These cool little hatches that you can use. I mean, it's so cool. And they're colorful, by the way. Not fully colorable, just like semi-colorable. Like the sides colored, I think some of the in between the lines colors. Cool looking staircases are in there. Some really cool blast doors. So even if you don't use the walls, the doors are fantastic. We can go through a little bit more here. Suit room. So you change your suits out. He's just adding all the functionality of a lot of the blocks in the game into these wall sections, making it all like very fluid, very subtle. Oh, here's another one of the really cool doors that comes with this pack. So, and then you put ladders, but they're only for decoration. So, all right, those I am gonna put those as a must-have. They're great. Retractable stairs. Depending on your build, very cool mod. It's a block that opens up into these big stairs. Now, I use these on the back of a transport ship, which were really cool. I had them all on a single button. I'd push the button and the whole back end would open up and it would come out and then you could just drive a vehicle or you could walk right up the stairs and get into the ship. It's kind of cool. And colorable, which is nice. Sectan is a mod author you probably want to follow if you like a lot of new mods and seeing new cool stuff. Like his Airtight Doors. Pop those open. Different size doors, all kinds of different variety and versions with windows, without windows, with big warnings tags on it. I think Aaron used these for a turret. They would open up and the turret would come out. Very cool concept on how to use those. So if you're just looking for more doors, more of his. Let's get into this though. What is this? Signs, LCD signs. This is a variety of different signs. Another one is sectans. Different shapes and sizes. Not a must-have, but cool if you want to make different types of screens at different resolutions. Different ramps. Not one that I'm going to put on the must-have. Very cool, though. Where's the computer one? That's the one we need. I love this one. Computer monitor. It's great for cockpits. It's great for going up against walls. It looks like a computer terminal. It's that simple, and you can change out what is shown on the screen, and you can use the keyboard to put things in there to access the rest of your ship systems. It's really cool for anything from engineering to building a fighter cockpit, because it goes on small blocks. You saw this in my Y-wing build as my like display to show me what my ammo was at or whatever. There's also a script, by the way, that will show you what your block health is at and what your ammo is at. I'm not going to put that on the must-have list here, but definitely very, very cool. This one, though, totally a must-have. It's in all my builds. I love it. We're going to put that on. Let's scroll down. Oh, there it is, scatter turret. If you're looking for a cool turret that doesn't just automatically kill everything it sees, the scatter turret makes a great effect of just rounds everywhere. Everywhere. So, scatter turret goes on. Speaking of turrets, we should do that. We should go through all the weapons that I use. Speaking of weapons, OKI weapon collection. I don't go for the individual weapons, I put the weapon collections on. I have two favorite weapon collections. My first one is my OKI collection. This goes everything from the 23mm defense guns. They can go on small ships and large ships. Oh, that one's new. When did he add that one? Oh, that one's cool looking. Anyways, basically these are great for shooting down fighters, enemy missiles. You know, these are your interception turrets. They don't shoot as fast as the Gatling gun, and I kind of like because it lowers the lag on the server. Less stuff flying around. Also, it has a really cool sound effect. But this is a pack, so it comes with everything going up 50mm, broadside cannons that don't actually move, turreted version, and then the quad weapon, which is neat. And then you can go all the way up to millimeters, same basic thing. So if you're looking for like broadside cannons, you could build them. They're just the barrel and then the end piece, which makes it really easy to custom build stuff. A few screenshots of it for you. Oh yeah. Great mod. And the problem with a lot of the weapon mods, we'll throw that on the must-have, is that they just don't have good sound effects. We have two more mods in this list that I want to show before we get into more of the weapons. The shutter mod, fairly simple mod, but it's just so cool. It's a shutter. It automatically comes down when you use your control panel and you turn it on. What makes it neat is you can put it on top of windows and like say you're going into battle mode, right? You know there's going to be combat or there's asteroids or there's debris or whatever. You can set these all to a macro, hit one button, and all your windows will shut with these metal shutters that will protect them marginally. And they're fairly easy to build. Also, DirectX 11 support, and it works in survival, no problem. All these mods so far work in survival, by the way. That is a must-have for me. I have to have mods that work in survival. So I'm going to throw shutters on there. Man, this list is getting a lot longer than I remembered. All right, moving on to the radar mod. Radar mod is something that you may have seen in the Let's Play, on the live stream Let's Play. It's a bit of functionality that I love. It's a radar. You put it on your ship, you build it. It uses the beacon whatever model for it, and it will, based on the range, tell you that there's stuff out there. Like you see in the picture up here, it says large unknown object. As you get closer, it'll start refining what it senses out there. Well, so what does that mean? Well, it refines, like you get a little closer and it'll be like there's a large ship, or there's a large ship out there, or there's a large asteroid, but it won't tell you what's on the asteroid. Then when you get a little bit closer, it'll be like it'll just tell you specifics, and it'll allow you to find things. Because if you know space engineers, it's really hard to find those random ships that spawn in survival worlds. Well, this is a great way to kind of work around that. I definitely dig this one. It makes it a little bit more interesting. I'll put that on the must-have. Let's do the Modular Energy, and I got Wedge Reactor. Which one's which? Wedge Reactors. These are cool. I think he's updated the, yeah, he's updated these. So these are some of the coolest reactors. You can stack them to make them look good. Because the reactors in the game have this like spherical look to them, they don't look good when they're stacked most of the time. With this mod, like look at this engineering. Doesn't that look cool? Very neat. And I think he's been keeping it updated as well. All function in DirectX, all work in survival. They haven't updated these yet for the new reactor outputs, sadly. So they don't put out enough energy yet. I'm sure he'll update those. So I won't be putting those on the must-have. Let's go ahead and grab the last of the weapons. Weapons. Where's my other weapon pack? ISM Mega Mod Pack? Is that the weapon pack I'm thinking of? This is a weapon pack that is pretty cool. The SIM, or ISM, excuse me, Mega Weapon Pack. Problem is these weapons are super OP. I mean, the Grindle right there puts down like 1,000 rounds a second or some ridiculous number, and then there's this giant rocket launcher. Not something that I would use in a server, but they do look really, really cool. Where are my weapons? Let's see. There we go. The MW Mark 1s or MW Collection. The MW Collection is the big battleship cannons that you see in a lot of people's builds. This is the full collection, though. You can get these individually. I like to just drop the entire collection on there. I'm not sure if these are, yep, DirectX 11 support and should work in survival. The only problem that I've had with these in the past, I've tested them in the wild, was the sound effect was a little weak. But you can see that gun in the back, hard to tell in this picture because there's nothing here to give you scale, really. Massive. Freaking massive. So, I would throw that on there. Why not? Twin-powered weapon blasters. Let's open those up real quick. DirectX 11 support. These have a very Star Wars-esque sound and visual to them when you fire them. I've just recently discovered these. Very cool, though. Yeah, just, they're neat. If you're looking for, you'll see these in some of my larger builds once I start getting into the cruiser-size builds and all that. So, why not? I'll put that in my must-have list. We're getting probably a little too many mods here. I wanted to keep this simple. Piston Pack. Did this get a DirectX 11 upgrade? Because it's really necessary. I believe it does. They're not DirectX 11. So we need this to get DirectX 11 support. Basically, it's a larger pack of pistons. They extend farther out, allowing you to do a few more interesting things. They are not DirectX 11 support, but most of the time when I have pistons in a build, they're hidden anyways. So it's not that big of a deal. I won't put them on the list though because they're not DirectX 11. The DirectX 11 Cult Command Pack. I think this is the updated version that allows for the animations to work properly, people sitting in them. Yeah, you have to get this version. Make sure you don't get the original. The original doesn't have DirectX 11 support, and it doesn't have the animation support. So when you sit in it, you'll free float above it. But this is a must because it's the bridge stuff that you see in everybody's videos. See that? And it looks really, really good. And they're all functional, too. You can use all those control panels. Let's see here. Lastly, I'm gonna go through and check if there's anything else that I absolutely say is a must. Well, Mr. Coffee, because I love coffee, and I've said now that every one of my ships that can have this will have a Mr. Coffee on board. Coffee. The Energy Shield mod. Oh, yeah, gotta have that. So the Energy Shield mod. I've spotlighted this in the past. I've actually done 2 videos on this so far. The last updated one, I believe, is totally up to date, the video that I did, as of this video going out. It is a shield that protects anything that it's attached to. It has a point requirement. So as you do damage to it, somebody is shooting you, the capacitor, the amount of shields that you have will go down. Eventually it'll fail and you'll start taking damage. It has module upgrades that are actually more expensive than the shield itself. I think they're still balancing the shield. This is still considered alpha, but it does work, and it works great for Star Wars builds or surviving against asteroid impacts. We're gonna put that on the must-have, and I think that's good. I think that is good. Retractable glass bridge. That's a fun one. It is a glass bridge that you can have come out of your ship. You can do a lot of fun things with this. I used it for a dry dock to goes out to the ship, so you can get out of your ship and walk across the bridge, and then you can retract this thing. Because it's made out of glass, you can do some really neat things with it. All right, guys, I think that's going to be it because my throat is totally sore and worn out now. But there is my list of mods that I highly recommend. I will try to keep this list up to date as I change things out. If you've got a mod that you highly recommend, must have, has to be DirectX 11, let me know in the comments below. If you guys watching the stream right now have any recommendations, let me know as well. And, you know, maybe we'll do this every few months. We'll just kind of go through and pick out some mods that are just ones that we have to use, definitely. All right, guys. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel for more gaming goodness. And as always, thank you for watching. And I'll see you next time.